What's up, music fans of the internet? I'm Derek.
And I'm Kevin.
And together we're last week's album. We're bringing you the only reviews with two different views. And this week we're talking about the Psychedelic Swamp by Dr. Dog. And we're asked the big question, can you teach an old Dr. Dog new tricks? Or how does Dr. Dog sound covering Dr. Dog songs? Cheers, Kevin, everyone at home.
Cheers, Derek, and everyone at home.
So some background on Dr. Dog. They're a sextet from West Grove, Pennsylvania. They were formed in 2006. The Psychedelic Swamp is their 8th or 9th full-length studio album, depending on kind of how you count them. The Psychedelic Swamp is based on songs that were originally written by member Scott McMicken and Toby Lehman in 2001, prior to the formation of Dr. Dog. So this is kind of a concept album. The band describes it as a half-baked idea back in 2001. It has been reborn in 2016, fully baked. And now let's talk about what it sounds like. Kevin, what'd you think?
Derek, I think this sounds like the Flaming Lips and the Beach Boys meet in the marsh to go fish-ing.
Oh, nice. I think the Psychedelic Swamp sounds like Dr. Dog administered an extensive musical history self-examination, and the results are overwhelmingly weird, yet enjoyable.
Nice.
Let's talk about some highlights. What did you have?
Derek, track-wise, the highlights, I have Bring My Baby Back. I thought that was a great slow jam. The bridge has an especially great build. Fire on My Back is sort of the sunny, happy-go-lucky, more straightforward single. Badvertise was a frenetically fun romp. And then just collectively as a concept album, I thought it was kind of fun to hear different elements come and go. And it's perfect for a band like Dr. Dog. So that's what I was digging. What about you?
Engineer says the blues rock there, especially the saxophone that closes that one out. The intricate layered vocals that appear throughout In Love, they're kind of different variations, and so I thought that was very cool. And one thing that really kind of stood out to me, although I think this could be highly overlooked in most cases, but the croaking toads in the background of Swamp Descent. I really thought that detail really helped that one live up to its name, and it really did. So you should check that one out just for that effect. So let's talk about some lowlights. Kevin, what'd you have?
Just a few, not too many lowlights. I thought there were a few tracks that could have been left off. It was maybe a little bit longer than it needed to be. And I don't think they're doing anything drastically new, but they've definitely found their signature sound here on the past few albums, and they know what works for them. So while this album won't be, a totally new direction for them, I think they're doing what works, and they're not trying to fix something that's not broken. So I'm still into it. What about you?
One low light for me was actually a highlight for you, but on Fire on My Back, the falsetto vocals there. At first I was like, okay. But then I started thinking to myself, wow, is this maybe a little too much falsetto? And then I realized, like, anytime you have to ask yourself that question, that's probably too much falsetto. Holes in My Back was maybe a little underwhelming for me. That one's kind of a slow builder that seemed to grow too much too quickly, and it just couldn't get out of its own way. So that brings us to the overall rating and ask the big question, can you teach an old Dr. Dog new tricks, or how does Dr. Dog sound covering Dr. Dog songs? Kevin, why don't you start us off?
Can you teach an old Dr. Dog new tricks, or how does Dr. Dog sound covering Dr. Dog songs? I think they sound a lot like Dr. Dog, and that's a good thing. Some reviews are saying these guys aren't doing anything new. I kind of disagree with that. I think a lot of bands wouldn't be able to go back to songs they'd written a decade ago before they were a band with a signature sound, and be able to approach those songs with a new feel. I think a lot of people just kind of write those songs off, and they were what they were at the time. But they come at it with a lot of imaginativeness and ingenuity that I really appreciate. And I think there's still plenty here for old and new fans to latch onto. So overall rating, I'm going 4 out of 5. I enjoyed this one a lot. What about you?
Overall, this is great. I totally agree with you. I love the idea of this concept album. One really cool aspect of this is how they have the benefit of, you know, all these years of experience and developing their sound to just breathe fresh air into something that set the stage for this band. So overall, I just really enjoyed this album. It was a lot of fun to see Dr. Dog getting back to their roots and having fun. So that being said, I'm giving this one a 4 out of 5 as well. So combined with Kevin's 4, that makes an 8 out of 10. So you should really go check out the Psychedelic Swamp by Dr. Dog. Thanks again for joining us here at last week's album. Don't forget to subscribe. Shout out to the podcast. And we'll check y'all next time here at last week's album. We're bringing you the only reviews with 2 different views. As always, I'm Derek.
And I'm Kevin.
Cheers, guys.